Alright, so we've got our unit test for 2 products, the 5 apples and the 8 bananas. But what we've got here is a little bit messy, I find, especially these definitions of product are maybe not as concise as they could be. So what I will suggest now, and what we'll do, is we'll create some test products that we can reuse. Alright, so let me just start with this. Private, read only, static product. And I'm going to call this one Apple, and it's going to be a new product, and of course it will have name Apple, and we've got a 35-cent unit price. Similarly for banana, private, read only, static product, and here we've got banana, so that's new product, of course go with banana. And this one is 75 cents. Let's go and use apple up here and banana when we're adding banana immediately afterwards. There. Isn't this more concise? So now it's just saying, hey, we're adding apples, 5 of them, into our shopping cart, and we're adding 8 bananas into our shopping cart. That the bananas have got the name banana and that they're 75 cents at this higher level of abstraction is not important, okay? Alright, so what we've got right now is great. Let's run all the unit tests. Great, all the unit tests are running. Let's carry on. So we've got 35 cents here, which of course we recognize to be our Apple unit price. So instead of 35 cents, why don't we just say Apple dot unit price. Brilliant. And then for the 8, well, here we have banana dot unit price. Let me just run the tests again. Hopefully they'll still pass after our little refactoring here for the tests. Okay, brilliant. The tests are still passing. This is clearer and a less fragile version of the same test. Why does it matter? Because if we were to ever change the apple's unit price, the test would still work. However, if we change the apple's unit price from 35 to, say, 45 cents, it would break. But this way, this is a more robust unit test. Obviously, down here, we've got a similar thing going on where we're using Apple, okay, the Apple product name and the Apple's unit price. Wouldn't it be nice if we could replace that with our Apple product reference here, our static reference? Well, yes, we could, but there is a little problem that I'd like to highlight. Well, let's make one little change though. Let's turn this into a product. Alright, so, okay, this is nice. New product. And then, okay, banana, 75 cents. This is great. Obviously, we will need a different verification method, a different overload of the verify cart item method. So let me just kind of come down here. What we've got right now here is fine. We still need this for another unit test. However, our single product unit test, I'm going to create an overload. An overload means it's the same name for the method. However, it's got a different parameter list. So product name and unit price are going to be encapsulated inside product. And I'm going to say product should be product. Now, let me run the tests. Oh no, the tests are failing. We have got a problem. And the problem, it says, expected item the product to be business logic product. So expected to be product with name Apple, 35 cents, but found business logic product, name Apple, unit price 35 cents. They are equivalent. Well, yes, they are equivalent with regards to these properties, but they are different objects. Okay, so here we're passing in this apple that we're newing up at this particular point. So a particular object being created, a particular product. But then to verify the cart, we're creating a new product here. This is a different Apple product, if you will. And with should be for the product, it will compare object references. I'm just going to highlight the B. It says assert that an object equals another object using its object.equals implementation. it actually checks that the objects are the same. And this is not what we've got. We have got two different objects. Here we're newing up a product, okay, with name Apple, unit price 35 cents. And up here, when we're verifying, we are creating a new product with name Apple and unit price 35 cents. Those objects are different. Therefore, checking that the product should be exactly the same reference will not work. What do? Let's see what we must do. Equivalent to. This is what we must use. We must use the be equivalent to method. So now it says item.product should be equivalent to product. What does equivalent to mean? All right, let me hover over equivalent to. Objects are equivalent when both object graphs have equally named properties with the same value, irrespective of the type of those objects. So what does that mean? It means that if we've got two products and they both have got Apple as the name and they both have unit price as 35 cents and those are the only properties, then the objects are equivalent. Alright, so our products are being created with Apple 35 cents. Yes, they're different objects, however, they ought to be equivalent. Let's run the unit test now. Or let's run all unit tests now. Excellent, all unit tests are passing again. Alright, so with this, I just wanted to show that sometimes we don't want to compare object references, which we will do with the fluent assertion B method. Sometimes we want to verify that the objects are equivalent. Their properties have got the same values. Alright, let's go and make additional changes. Why don't we come along here and verify cart item and replace this with Apple and over here with banana. Let's run all unit tests again. Nice, and they're all still passing. This is looking really nice. We have simplified our two product unit test. It is very readable. We're adding our two products into our shopping cart that we've just created anew. We're verifying the total. And we're verifying that the first and the second cart item to be 5 apples and 8 bananas respectively. This is an easy to read unit test, so nicely done. Let's move on to a last unit test that is kind of an integration test. We'll try and add 3 products into our shopping cart and then verify that we've got those 3 products in our items collection on the shopping cart and that the total on the shopping cart corresponds to what we expect. That will wrap up our add method and we can move on to something else. See you shortly.